Hi, I'm Keith Allen, and I play Murphy on Z Nation, and I listen to One Up Gaming Podcast.
Hi, I'm Lucy James, and I listen to the One Up Gaming Podcast.
It's the One Up Gaming Podcast, hosted by David, Sean, and Zach.
And we're back. It's One Up Gaming. It's episode 154. It's me, David, and we've got a whole gaggle of people this week. So I think I'll just start with, we've got Matt.
Hello, I'm part of the gaggle.
We've got George.
I like Google.
I was going to say you should have said goggle, but... And we've got Chris, who's the face of news.
What's up, guys? I have no Google or goggle.
But he does have a face for news.
He's goggleless.
He's got the face for radio.
Oh.
I heard that about him.
Oh, not with that beard.
What about my beard?
We can't
Your
see
beard-
you.
We can't see your beard.
His beard is glorious, in fairness.
I actually had to trim it recently. Somewhere recently. It's mostly back. Anyway, yeah, welcome. Thanks for listening to the podcast.
Yeah, see you next week. Bye.
That was a really shitty episode.
Well, that's pretty good.
So, I guess... Chris, do you want to do our sponsored link?
Yeah, so this week we are sponsored by Audible. So if you want to listen to free and interesting books, try the Audible 30 days trial and join Audible today. You can enjoy your first listen on us for free. Of course, if you don't like your audio book, then you can exchange it for another free. So kind of guess, what are you waiting for? Visit www.audibletrial.com/OUG. Try the Audible 30 days trial right now.
Thank you. And they pay really well.
As a side note, listeners, it's a side they pay really well.
I was waiting for him to make a comment on my reading last time. That's why I was quiet.
Should I play the audio of you trying to read that?
No,
No.
you shouldn't.
No. Let's not rehash.
Roughly, Chris, would you say that took you about 30 seconds?
Fuck you.
Yeah, man. That was probably like 20 seconds, man.
Fuck you.
I honestly cut
Fuck you.
2.5 minutes out of the intro,
Fuck you.
and it still went for about 4 minutes.
Because you told me you weren't going to edit it, so I started plugging my stuff.
Oh, George.
Yeah, we don't know what the hell's going on anymore.
No, we do. It's just that we've come to accept it, and then that's why we're sighing.
It's good that people accept me.
Oh, and it's just a team in general. I've just come to accept many things, including the listeners, because they're still here.
Well, all one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we value that guy.
we do.
Or girl.
We like you, random person from the internet.
It's a guy, it's not a girl.
We like you, random
How would
guy
you
from the
know?
internet.
Because when Eddie was on, we lost all female followership.
We salute you, Mr. Internet Guy.
We don't talk about Eddie.
I want to know about this later.
You later.
Yes, I said later. So this is episode 154. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or is it 45? Okay.
154.
I'm not good at keeping
How
track.
have we been doing this for over 3 years?
3 years. Wow, man.
I've been here for about nearly 1.5 now, so.
I've been here for a day.
Give that man a goddamn medal.
To be fair, you've been a
Bronze
member
medal.
of the team longer than that. It's just it's your first appearance on there.
Yeah, first
Podcast.
appearance on the podcast. I think I've been writing reviews and doing the news show for the news show. I think I've been doing about a month. Been writing reviews for a couple months now. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I started like early March. I think that's when around my first review went up.
I don't know about you guys, but I was at work the other day and it was like, it's almost the end of May.
Yeah, usually
Where the
I'm at
hell-
work.
I know.
Where's this year gone?
I know E3 coming up.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about this the other day. It's just like, what is going on? What's up with the world? Why is my life like these months have been gone already? What happened?
On a cheerier note, Download Festival is soon, so if you're excited for that, please cheer with me.
I don't know what that is.
I have no idea what that is.
I don't care what that is.
The listeners can cheer. It's fine. The listeners can cheer.
The listener can cheer.
But when it's released to the public, not when it's live. Either way.
I like pot.
I've woken up a bit now.
That's
That
good.
makes a change.
Well, tears have stopped streaming down my cheeks, so...
That is probably helpful,
Just
yeah.
crying all the time.
Just weeping constantly.
It's because I knew I had to talk to you guys for 2 hours.
That's a fair point. I mean,
That hurts my feelings. I was going through work all day today, and I just
Guess the tablet.
want to come on the podcast. Oh, that's the bottom.
I've got loads of crap
Is that an
lying
Android
around.
tablet? What is that? Is that some Chinese thing?
Oh god, I just hit the microphone. It's twin stick Android.
I fucking want that.
It plays Dreamcast games as well, it's pretty cool.
I fucking want that.
Sick.
damn.
Like 2 times now. I want 2 now. I want one for Dreamcast games and one for.
Well, I use it.
I don't know.
I got proper back into my Ridge Racer games. I used to love them so much.
Of course.
And I got right back. Oh, shut up, you.
Yeah.
I love my racing games and my fighting games.
I covered the first.
I've just started here on the other side of the spectrum going, I like RPGs and shooty things.
I like
Yeah.
both of those.
I'm like RPGs, like, and then like point and click. I love me a story game.
Yeah.
I love me my story games.
Definitely, absolutely.
Uncharted is a story game.
Yes, it is.
I like
I did
story
enjoy
games
Uncharted.
that
Oh, it's
last
good to
about
hear.
2 hours. That's why I loved like the Walking Dead sort of stuff.
You like games that last 2 hours?
Yeah, I don't have much time to
Like
do
they're
stuff.
compact
David's
experience.
attention
Yeah.
span is this big.
I
How big
grew
is
up.
that? Can you vocalize that?
I grew up on the Mega Drive and the Sega Saturn, where it's all arcade-based sort of games.
I grew up
Just
on the
quick,
GameCube.
easy.
Yeah,
A lot. There were a
Sega
good
Rally
amount of
Daytona,
games that were
Virtua
not
Fighter,
arcade
amazing.
games.
I love them.
I grew up on the PS2, man.
I see. I was a Nintendo kid, so I grew up on Zelda.
So yeah,
Oh.
I was the Sony kid. I had a PSX, and then eventually we got the PS2. So I grew up on both basically, but I did play NES a little bit as a kid.
I tell you what, guys. The other stories that we talked about off air, that's going to stay off air, about Nintendo and all that sort of stuff. But I remember now when you just said that about Zelda, when we were talking about Zelda, and I was going to do a playthrough of it again because I hate Zelda with a passion.
Uh-oh.
And a developer emailed me on my Facebook page, or on the team's Facebook page, and it basically said that we were disrespecting the game's franchise. It hurt him personally, and
What?
all this stuff. And I was
Personal
just
attack.
like, what the hell? I don't care if you like the game or not. I hate it, but you know. But yeah, it was quite funny. I emailed him back and forth
Oh,
about
that
3 or
hurts.
4 times.
Oh,
I
that
tried
hurts.
to.
Oh,
I tried
you just
to,
made a mistake.
I tried to get him on the podcast, but he wouldn't come on.
Yeah, man. But you're entitled
wow.
to your opinion. Like
Because
that's
he
a
thinks you're a
pretty heavy
dick,
reaction.
probably.
Uh,
Why is Matt dying? Somebody
It's
revive
either,
him.
It's either
You
dying
gotta do
or he's doing
you gotta do a
something.
pebble dash.
Oh god.
I don't even have to dash.
I'm not going to say anything because we'll be here for many hours if I start talking about Zelda.
I haven't even really played a Zelda game. The only one I played was Zelda 2 on the NES.
Yeah.
I've never played a Zelda game ever.
Okay, so
I-
most of us are in
I-
the same boat.
I grew up off them because I got a GameCube, started Wind Waker, then just from there.
Okay. Yeah,
So it's Wind Waker, then I went backwards, then went forwards a bit.
Yeah. No, I missed that whole boat, man. I miss the whole Nintendo boat. Like,
you missed the whole boat. We were talking
I
about
missed the
Wind
whole
Waker.
oh,
He was the one
oh,
who
man,
made the joke.
I was
just
like,
pointed
I was
it
just
out.
Sony, man. I was just Sony, and then I got
Yeah.
into Xbox, and yeah.
I wasn't cool enough for Sony. I wasn't one of the cool kids. I grew up on
Twisted
Nintendo,
Metal.
then went to Microsoft and got my hands on 360 and just kind of went, I've been missing out on things.
Well, that's what
So-
happens when you you take stance on one company. If you
didn't.
missed the
It's
Nintendo
like-
64, you missed Super Mario 64.
Like,
You missed the Legend of Zelda games.
Take this.
Yeah, and then if
That's
you
what
play it,
contempt as a child.
if you went with the N64, you missed out on Sony stuff. Crash
Yeah.
Bandicoot, Twisted Metal.
You don't miss out if you didn't play Crash Bandicoot.
Whoa, okay.
Big call.
Just-
No, I think it's just the time. Like
I think
when
we need
jumped
to
in,
point out that David doesn't like good games.
Crash Bandicoot, a good game.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Do you like your football managers? Those are good games, right?
like it's not a great game, but it's not shit.
At the time, it was good.
yeah.
Now, it's almost unplayable.
I still maintain that the Naughty Dog are one of the best developers in existence because they're the people who made both Crash Bandicoot and The Last of Us
And
Again,
Uncharted.
that's overrated.
and Uncharted. Excuse me?
They only. I think that I want to say they.
Excuse me, whoa. David, what?
The Last of Us is overrated.
Whoa, okay.
Okay.
Huh.
I'm going to have to stop you there for a second.
I haven't even
So is
finished it yet,
Uncharted.
so
I'm sorry.
now that's completely
Okay.
untrue.
It's overrated. What is the argument?
Yeah,
for
how is it
overrated?
overrated?
On both Uncharted and The Last of Us, the story's
Right.
amazing, the characters are amazing, the gameplay's tosh.
Okay, on the first
This is
couple
coming from a
Uncharted,
guy who
I
likes
can-
to
I
click
can-
names on football managers.
How is
The game is
so,
the game is
so
too
good?
complex for his mind. He doesn't know how to use those thumbsticks. All he knows is click David Beckham's name or whatever.
Okay, guys, just let's not. David's entitled to his own wrong opinion. Opinion.
He's not entitled to anything, but he can sure say what he wants.
And I do.
Yes,
You
he
do.
does. This usually gets him blacklisted, but we still let him do it anyway.
I thought we weren't talking about this.
I didn't say anything about who did it.
Yeah, Nintendo scum.
There we go.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, throw
I'm
them
not
under the
like
bus.
crazy for Nintendo, but wow.
I wonder if that had something to do with it as well, because I was going on about Nintendo quite a lot, saying how shite they are.
They're not shitty.
They're
You're
not
just
shitty.
an
They'll
asshole.
probably piss them off.
Yeah.
But
To
on
be
a different
fair-
note,
Like we do.
They had the NES, which was massive in America. It did shit in the UK, but let's not go off that.
Sorry, do you mean the NES?
NES.
No.
The
There's an
NES.
S. Z.
With an S at the end.
NES.
NES.
The NES.
NES.
You don't say the SNES, you say the SNES.
I say the SNES.
Sure you do.
No. But,
That's why he doesn't like Nintendo. He doesn't know how to pronounce the console name.
Pronunciation's just off.
well, no, I'm on about the cheap Chinese replica.
What about it?
You know, like the iWoo or whatever it's called. You know, the
There's a lot of like Chinese Famicom clones. If
Yeah.
that's what,
Yeah.
no,
So-
but the NES did really well. The SNES, well, the NES did really well in America and Japan. In the UK, it died on its ass.
Because you guys are so backwards.
Coming from... Never mind, I'm not going to start that argument.
But then the SNES, that did really well in the UK. It matched the Mega Drive. Sales-wise, it was like good 50-50. And it was only... That was the height of Nintendo in the UK. After that, they died big style. The Nintendo
Did you
64,
die during the 2000s? I'm sorry. Did you have like a collective stroke from the year 2004 to 2008? Did you just not exist for that period at
what,
all?
the GameCube that came third out of 3 consoles.
Yes.
So that,
Produced some of the best games in existence.
I'm not on about the games, I'm saying that Nintendo as a whole, their console failed. They
I
went
mean,
up at,
Nintendo have seen like continuous, like they have sold less units for every console perpetually, other
apart
than
from
the
the
Wii.
Wii, which they don't know how they did it.
Yeah, well, it was
Well,
everyone's
it's because
grandma's,
it was-
man.
Yeah, exactly. Also,
Everyone's
I
grandma's
was trying to
grandpa.
masturbate on camera. I don't know.
That was that, not... What?
But that's what I'm trying to say.
I thought that too,
Nintendo
George.
have they started up massive and they've just dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped. But because the vast majority of people in the games industry still remember Nintendo from the SNES days. They're still thinking Nintendo are still at the pinnacle. So whenever there's any news of Nintendo, they're all, oh, they're going to do it this time, they're going to do it this time.
They are still at their pinnacle, but in games, put Mario on PS4, put Zelda on Xbox, I don't need the Wii U too.
The problem if they do that, if they were to sort of say, we were going to go third party and make games for other consoles, yes, it's totally different to what with Sega. They still have money, Sega didn't. But all their best developers said, well, I'm going to go and start my own development studio then. Why the hell would I sit here and make shovelware?
Well, I mean, they're owned for Nintendo, they're owned by Nintendo, these developers.
On a separate note,
a lot of the big name developers, they're like Resident Evil sort of people and that, they got sick of Capcom, so they all quit and then formed their own studio. So that would be, I would say, would happen if Nintendo decide we're not making our own stuff. And then, because the thing is, Japan, a lot of the people who work for companies in Japan basically work for the same company their whole life.
Wonder where that was going then.
But if that's what happened with Sega, as soon as they said we don't have a console to shoot for, they're all like, I'm out.
I'd pay good money for another Sega console.
Without
they need the third party though. I'm not going to buy a console just for the first party stuff. I need to be able to get Mario, but also get Mass Effect.
Mass Effect's on the Wii U.
I would pay to see that crossover. Holy shit! Did he? That would be glorious.
Mamma mia! Let's have a sexer.
New from EA, DLC, Mario.
You can actually get into a relationship with Peach. Alright, I want this now.
Matt, what have you been playing?
And now the podcast. This week, funnily enough, I've actually been playing Zelda.
Oh, so you've been playing shitty games. I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
For some reason, I actually decided to get my 3DS out, and I've actually been playing A Link Between Worlds, which is David's dying.
It's alright.
A remake of
Good, let him die.
Link to the Past from the SNES.
The SNES?
Yeah, the SNES. But it's a remake of Link to the Past, one of my all-time favourite games. I've been really enjoying it. It's surprising me because I thought it was just going to be a really cruddy remake, but it's not. And even though it's 3 years, stop shaking your head. It's 3 years old now, and it's still really, really vibrant and lush, and it sounds fantastic because Nintendo's orchestra. David, shut up.
David should not have an opinion on Nintendo stuff.
I have no opinion.
That's what you think.
In fairness, David has no opinion. That's how Bloodborne came number one in the 2015 Games OUG. It was glorious.
Oh boy.
No, it was beautiful. We spent 7 hours recording, and at the end of it, they were arguing for 2, 3, and 4. And I was there at the end holding Bloodborne, just going, "Can this be number one then?" And they allowed it. And they all allowed that. They were too busy arguing, trying to get The Witcher, Metal Gear Solid, and freaking Fallout. I was just
I didn't even want Fallout in the top 10.
I would not put Fallout. I wouldn't have put
Yeah.
Fallout 4 in the top 10.
I was too busy trying to sort of get that kicked off, but no one else wanted it off.
Yeah,
boy, I can't wait till
I would
deliberations at
agree.
the end of this year.
See, I was just like, I can put this at number one. And it stayed there. I was quite happy about that.
What else have you been playing?
I've also been playing 8-Bit Armies, which I'm currently writing a review for, and it's a surprisingly fun take on something that copies Advance Wars, which is really, really weird because
I
the
never
market
really played Advance Wars.
real-time strategy war games, the franchise and the market itself has been nailed by stuff like Command and Conquer, Advance Wars, and Total War. And there's something like this coming along and going, can I have a bit? It's not bad. It's just the same thing, but with tiny little people that are adorable.
Okay.
It's quite nice. I've also been playing Deadbolt because Deadbolt is magical.
What is that?
It's basically, imagine Hotline Miami if it was 2D, much more difficult, and you were playing the Grim Reaper with a shotgun.
I might or might not be sold.
It's brilliant. It's made by the same people. It's made by the same development team who made Risk of Rain, and I love Risk of Rain to death.
I never played Risk of Rain.
That is also worth playing. It's a roguelike game where basically you have to get between like every single level without dying, and you go back to the start if you do die, and you pick up power-ups along the way, and it gets harder with time. So by the end of it, if the counter's at like 30 minutes, you're playing at a difficulty that is similar to... How can I describe this? Like every last wave of like a defense game coming at you at once with bosses that have got like treble health and shields. It's brutal, but it's brilliant. And Deadbolt is similarly as unforgiving in the sense that like you have to like really, really try to get headshots on enemies to try and kill them in one, but if something hits you once, you are dead. It's unforgiving, but it's fantastically well made. And also it's very, very rewarding in the sense that like you can die like 20 times in the same level, but when you get it done, you just sat there going... I can't demonstrate that to the listeners, but it's me just kind of like fist pumping slightly and just saying yes. It's brilliant.
Yes, this rocks.
That was not the hand action I was doing, sir. George, what have you been playing?
So, Uncharted 4 came out recently. I played
that really
some
small
of
release.
it. Yeah, that really small release. I'm watching Ridge Racer right now on an Android tablet. What is it? Oh, it's Daytona USA. Daytona.
David, I think you've got me mistaken the graphics at least along in 2004.
Anyway, really?
This is Daytona from the Dreamcast from 2001.
Oh my god.
Can
David's just like, fuck you, George, do not care what you were playing. Here is Daytona.
Yeah, no, that's usually how it goes.
That's right. I just wanted to see if it turned on. I haven't turned on in months.
So you had to distract everyone.
Well, might as well.
He's a master.
Anyway, I was playing Uncharted 4. Finished that. Multiplayer's awesome.
I'm turning it off
I
now.
don't know what else to say. Alright. Anyway.
It's turning off.
Went back to the Uncharted collection.
Carry on.
Decided to go back to the Uncharted collection. And I'm working on finishing up Uncharted 2. Can't wait to get back to Uncharted 3 because I have not played that a second time. I've only played through it once.
Which one do you think's better, 2 or 3?
See, I don't want to say it's nostalgia, but I have I have better feelings for Uncharted 2 because that was the first PS3 game I got.
Really?
I got the bundle with it.
Yeah,
And I played a lot of that game, especially the multiplayer. But I might say 3 is
okay.
because I don't know what to say. The multiplayer was much better in 3. And it had all that stuff that I was kind of looking for, which was like some kind of segregated co-op feature where they would not take parts of the story, but they would make scenarios that are similar to parts of the story, and you'd be able to play co-op in those scenarios.
Yeah.
So I think I'd say 3 is better.
I think the big question is like they're pretty on par with the actual quality of the game. It's just like, what do people prefer? You know?
Yeah, and it's also
one?
it's also that these Uncharted games, it's like we just sold an amazing game. How do we top that?
Exactly.
And it's insane because they do it every time.
Last of Us 2.
Oh, let's
We'll
not go on that tangent.
We'll see.
Oh, I'm excited for that tangent because they've got exactly the same voice actors and good God, Troy Baker.
Troy Baker was in Uncharted 4, which
No,
was weird.
There's Nolan North, isn't it?
No, he
His
plays
brother.
He plays the
right, I
brother.
didn't know that.
So-
again, I'm one of the few who hasn't actually played any of the Uncharted games.
Okay, so what's really funny is Nolan North, king of the castle. Basically everybody wants him to voice act for their game.
He is Drake. He looks like
right.
Drake as well.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they modeled Drake
Yeah.
after him, basically. And then Troy Baker comes along and he starts climbing this mountain, And Troy Baker basically turned into the Nolan North. And it's really funny to have Troy Baker, who is younger than Nolan North, as the older brother of Nathan Drake. It's just interesting because also Troy Baker did the voices for one of the protagonists, or the boss, I should say, in Saints Row the Third and Saints Row 4. And then in Saints Row 4, they brought on Nolan North as a separate voice. And that was really interesting. It was like, the combination of Troy Baker and Nolan North would be an amazing thing. And then Uncharted 4 happened. So...
We were right. This was an amazing thing.
Yes, it was.
Plus Nolan North and Troy Baker were also in The Last of Us.
Yeah, they were.
Nolan North was in The Last of Us?
Nolan North played the creepy dude.
Oh,
Okay, but these aren't two main characters working together.
No, not working together, but he was a main character.
Okay. I haven't played too much of The Last of Us.
The dude who handcuffs...
The dude who's, you're on the right track, yeah.
Whose name I can't remember now.
What, the one that strips you down and handcuffs you to the bed?
No.
No,
that sounds sexy.
That's your life, David.
I know.
He wishes that was his life. Anyway. So I do other podcasts than this, and I was playing some games for that, for those. And the next game we will be covering is the Playboy game for the PS2.
That's actually not a bad game.
It gets tedious. It gets tedious, but it's kind of like The Sims, actually. It has like the same font. It has like the same kind of UI in a way.
You're talking about the UI when you're discussing a Playboy game.
Yeah. So
you're talking about the font.
Yeah, so I play the Playboy game for the gameplay. Like I read Playboy for the articles. Yeah, so it's a management game.
Do you tip your fedora when you're doing it?
You don't have a fedora. Nice attempt at a joke, though.
You've got a beard.
Yep. Anyway, doesn't mean I wear a fedora, but anyway, it's just a management game. You get money, obviously. You have to get stuff like cover photo. You have to get someone for the centerfold. You have to get articles. You have to get other kinds of photos shot that aren't just women, surprisingly. It like I said, it gets tedious. I played it for about like 2 hours or something like that, and it just started really wearing on me. It was the same thing over and over again, but I had to do it more. And there's an aspect where you have to go around and meet people. You have to talk to them, like celebrities and everything. And
you got a network.
Yeah, exactly. You have to become their friends and everything. And you can ask them to do interviews, or you can ask them to write an article or something like that. The premise is cool, but the execution is not that great. It's not a bad game. It just gets boring because it's the same thing over and over. Eventually you will unlock new areas like the pool and stuff like that, and you can actually decorate the mansion, and that's where you take the pictures, is you take pictures in the mansion or at the pool. Surprisingly enough, there is actually some kind of nudity in this PS2 game. And it actually looks good.
Is it like real weird blocky stuff?
No. It looks pretty good.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, for like 480p.
Playboy review by George. It looks pretty good. With great UI. With an alright UI. The UI is pretty annoying, but
4 out of 5 stars. Doesn't go 1080.
I also played another PS2 game. I played Rumble Roses. Eye rolls now. Because this is a female wrestling game by Konami.
I think that was quite bad.
It is alright. I'm in there for the women. I mean, the wrestling. But I played the story mode with one of the characters, and the story mode is really weird because it's just like cutscenes mashed together. There's like no context for anything really. So it's like, my sister. I do. Now I'm gonna beat you in this wrestling match, and then like you beat her, and then there's another cutscene where it's like, I'm gonna beat you. No, you're not, and then you win, and then there's another cutscene. It's really weird. And then at the end, I fought a robotic woman who beat my ass the first time. So yeah, that's Rumble Roses. That's all you need to know.
But I'm sure when that first came out, it sort of like it played very similar to the old Dead or Alive sort of games, very fast and arcadey.
Not really.
I could have sworn it was.
Like it's not super fast, but it's kind of fast, and it is arcadey, but it does not play like Dead or Alive. Trying to think of what else I play because just so much I do in my life. I think that's it.
Alrighty then.
Very interesting there, George.
Yeah, thanks. Asshole.
Wow, that was full of spite. Holy shit.
So, Chris, do you want to go next?
Yeah, man. I finished Uncharted 4.
I'm sorry. Don't let me distract you.
That didn't distract me. No,
oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, finished Uncharted 4. For God's sakes, man.
All right, go on. All right. You don't deserve this yet. You don't deserve this yet.
Yeah, it's coming. It'll be coming. No, man, I beat that. It was a pretty sick game in my opinion.
Without any spoilers, how did you feel about the ending?
I played it initially, and it didn't go where I thought where it was going to go, and I went,
right,
damn. But then I kind of sat on it for about a day, and I realized it ended exactly how it should have.
Exactly. When you end in series, you end it like that. I know a lot of series that would end it in a completely different way, where it's like, oh, I don't know, like the guy just like fell off a cliff and died or something. It's like,
yeah.
But they built this story, and they knew they were going here, and they really took you there.
It was satisfying. It was really like it felt like they like the last page of a book, and you read it, and they closed the book, and you were like, I'm happy with that.
Right. It's like I want to read this book again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. I think my biggest takeaway was I couldn't believe how much like The Last of Us the game was. Like, there are so many things they learned in The Last of Us about, when you're just walking around and there's a prompt to talk to a character that you can just randomly do. And you actually get some really cool backstory, or stealth in the game. Uncharted's never really had stealth. It was just
it kind of has, but it wasn't that great.
It wasn't very good though.
Yeah.
The kind of viable option in most fights for the first 3 games was run in there, shoot the shit out of everything. Whereas now I'm kind of
there are sections where you could do some kind of stealth, but it's very easy to fuck up because the stealth isn't perfect.
Yeah, no, but this, I felt like I went through big sections where I literally didn't have to fire a single bullet. I could just, kick people off cliffs, hide them in the bushes. It gives you options. It gives you options. That's what I liked.
Exactly, and not even options in the way of stealth or anything like that. It's you can just go on the grappling hook and just swing around. I've done this a few times. You could just swing around and shoot at everyone and just dodge their bullets. And I've done this, and it's really fun. Yeah, the mechanics for it are amazing.
You saw the E3 trailers where Nathan would get on a grappling hook, swing over, and then just perfectly land a flying punch on a dude.
Yeah,
and you could do that, and it wasn't hard. These things happened a lot.
Right, the trailer wasn't bullshit. It wasn't showing you something that was scripted. It showed you something you can actually do in the game. And my favorite part, one of my favorite parts about the game is, if you've seen the gameplay that they did last year, where the controller wasn't working, there's actually a trophy there when you get to that point where you don't do anything for 30 seconds, and that's pretty funny.
I thought that was really. I loved the amount of Easter eggs this game had. There's the big one at the beginning that kind of everyone talked about, and I won't spoil that, but there's it's a staple of Uncharted, trying to find treasures. They had a treasure related to every single one of the different series they've done in the past, and I thought that was really cool.
And what I really liked about this is not only are you collecting treasures, you're collecting like journal entries and you're collecting pages of notes and then this turns into bonus points. When you finish the game for the first time, you can buy all these things with points. And I had so many points that I just bought all the filters and I was like, hell yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. And it's like, that's what I say, it takes a book from a leaf out of the book of The Last of Us of the fact that, there were all these little stories that weren't about Nathan Drake peppered in there.
Right.
That were also really interesting, and you just got them in these little notes and these little books.
Right, and what's interesting is, these are like fake stories, like these pirates did not actually do this stuff, just like the other games where it's like Marco Polo actually didn't find Shambhala or whatever it was,
Yeah.
But they created this story, but they didn't just create the story. They added these notes to make it feel like this actually happened. You were actually finding a piece of history that nobody knew about before.
Yeah, man. I think it's definitely the best Uncharted for me personally. Like, and I think it's a phenomenal game. It was a great way to go out.
Yeah, most definitely.
So I played that this week, and then the rest of the week I've been like with my busy schedule. I've been trying to get through the detail. Finish that off.
Did you say the detail or the signal?
The signal detail. Watch the interview to find out the real name.
I don't even know where the hell the signal came from. It might have been because
you just don't know.
I was playing. Oh god, I've even forgotten the name of it. Alan Wake. Was there a DLC pack called The Signal?
Yes, there was.
Yes,
so I was playing Alan Wake the other day, so I might have just randomly got it in my head. Sorry, go on.
No, man, but I was like pleasantly surprised for the detail. I mean, I think I'm doing the review for that, and it's like, I don't want to like be rude, but it's like amazing in its corniness. There's like just the character like stereotypes that you have, and some of the dialogue is like, it's cringy in some respects, but because it's cringy, it's actually hilarious, and then it actually is a good story because you actually do like these characters because you're laughing at all these lines of dialogue. The music is really cool. The art style is actually I thought really cool.
I say when I interviewed the guy, I mean, he was so honest. I couldn't believe what he was actually saying. He sort of said that it was going to be a 5-part series. But after they did the second one, they worked out they didn't have enough money.
Oh, shit.
So they had to basically just rewrite it and just do it as a 3-part series. They were looking at doing voice actors, but they couldn't afford to have proper English speaking. And they thought, well, there's no point getting people from Finland putting on a fake American accent.
Yeah.
So they said
they could have just hired me.
They'll just stick to having.
I didn't think it needed it, to be honest. and I was playing it. I didn't think it needed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it fits the comic book style really well.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of like, I was going along, I was making up my own voices for the characters, I actually think it probably would have taken away kind of having an actual voice actor play the part. So no, I thought that aspect was cool.
When you say this makes me think of that game in early access, Jalopy. Does anyone know about this game?
No.
So,
Jalopy... Let's meet Jalopy.
Yes. Jalopy is... the story isn't finished yet, but so far it's about you and your uncle. Your uncle gives you this car, and it's beat up, but you can fix it up, and you can actually get new parts for the car. The tutorial is actually you taking pieces from his shop, putting the engine in, putting the battery in, so on and so forth. And you're just driving through the different countries. And I think right now the goal is Hungary, and you start in, I want to say Germany? Turkey? I'm sorry, I forget. But it's about a car trip with your uncle, and there's no voice acting. The only thing is when your uncle speaks, he makes pantomime noises and stuff. He doesn't actually speak.
Okay.
And it's basically just about this journey that you're taking with your uncle to different countries, and how you have to pass the border. And there's a feature where you can bring stuff over, but some stuff might actually be illegal.
Right.
Like I said, it's in very early access right now, but it's a really interesting game. It has that new kind of thing where people make games with like low polygon counts. Yeah, that's the new like pixel art thing. It's like that, but it works fine, and it's a pretty cool game.
Should play the Sega
it's on
Saturn.
Steam.
That's
No,
very
I
low
like playing
polygon.
good things.
Pixel art and crappy graphics are two different things.
No, you said low poly count.
No, you said it was about pixel art as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on about it's the new thing.
Uh,
Ooh.
just checking it's only pixel art. Just checking.
The Saturn wasn't that great anyway.
All right.
I hate you so much.
I can just see his face.
That's what that look was. Oh, you hate me so much, but the Saturn failed. Which means it wasn't that great.
Is that everything you've been playing, Chris?
Yeah, man. It's just the detail on Uncharted. Both of them I actually like. Yeah, I enjoyed them.
But David, what have you been playing?
I wanna make this obvious. I wanna make this apparent. I don't honestly think the Saturn is garbage. As a joke, it's an alright console. I have one. I play it a little bit.
I still think the Saturn's got maybe 3 or 4 of the best games at that time.
Were those games ported to the PlayStation?
No. Well,
Right.
eventually.
Oh!
One came to the PS2.
Which game was that?
That was Virtua Cop Collection.
Okay.
Virtual what, sorry?
Virtua Cop Collection.
Oh, I missed
Yeah, I
it.
heard that too, man. I heard that.
Just kind of went,
And then there was
Did you know Sega was in the porn business?
then there was Virtua Fighter 2, which I think that did come to the PS2, but I think that was only in Japan. Because that's the best version to get of Virtua Fighter 2, because it had the proper stage where you're actually on the water going underneath the bridge, whereas every other version you actually just stood on the beach because they couldn't have the processing power to actually go on water. And then
I'm
there's-
sorry, are you just proving my point that the Saturn isn't that great?
And then there's the Sega Rally game, which is probably my favourite game of all time.
Okay, I barely have any Saturn
this up.
games, but I don't even have the Saturn hooked up right now. And I don't have an actual like Saturn pad. I have some third-party controller.
I've got 3 Sega Saturns.
David, what's it called? Sorry, Sega Rally.
Yeah, Sega Rally.
I think I have like 4 or 5 different PlayStation 2s, so we're all good.
You have 5 PlayStation 2s.
I think 4 maybe?
Do you, like, if
Why?
you stack
Why?
them up, do you get like a PS8?
Yeah, sure. No, I got a
No.
PlayStation 9.
No, because the PS3 is like 10 times more powerful than the PS2, so you'd have to have a shitload of them to get the power needed.
That's true. And in fairness, the
Anyway,
in fairness, the PS3 has got one of the best games.
I also have like 4 N64s and only 2, no, maybe 5, and only 2 of them work. Yeah, no, those are notorious for not working. Believe it or not.
I mean, I don't have many
I have 2 Dreamcasts.
duplicates, but I've got maybe about 20 different consoles.
I have 2 Genesises, Genocide.
PSI.
2 Mega Drives.
God, you guys got
No,
everything.
I'm saying
got
the
like,
correct name.
I've got like PS2 up and then 360 up.
See, I even
Like-
have like a ColecoVision, a television. Atari 26. Oh no, I don't have a 2600.
But the thing
Yeah,
is,
the
Chris,
70.
how old are you?
I'm 19.
Matt, how old are you?
I'm not saying.
He's 15.
I'm 20.
Oh, you just said. I thought you said you weren't saying.
And George, how old are you?
I'm turning 22 in June.
There's not that big an age difference for you guys
No,
to have,
no, there is.
to be honest.
Between us 3, no, there isn't. Between the
I don't know why you're asking. How old are you?
He's going to prove a point in a second. However, when he reveals how old he is.
I've just turned 35.
Right.
Alright.
So I basically grew up with
In the Blitz.
Well, it's like I used to have the Amiga, which I don't know if that was ever in New Zealand or not.
No, we didn't. No.
Those guys didn't have technology at the time.
And the Master System, then it was like Mega Drive.
I have one of those Master System things.
I think it was a Master System 2, the one we had. The one that had Alex the Kid built in.
I do want a Master System 2, but they're hard to come by over here.
Oh god, I can send you shitloads of them. I think I've got about 3.
Oh man, yeah, no, I would love one. That actually, so interesting fact, in that built-in version of Alex Kidd in Miracle World, they changed the rice ball that he's eating in the little thing between the levels. They changed that to a cheeseburger in the built-in version. So that's your Sega fact for today. And now we're talking in the chat, in the text here.
We're doing a podcast. We have a private conversation.
Well, it was silent, so I had to say something.
I'm looking at these emojis to see if there's one that says "fuck off, you assholes." But I can't see one.
I don't think emojis usually speak.
But hold on, so David, so you think the Sega Rally game is the best game of all time?
That's the Sega Saturn version, which it looks rubbish, but it played amazing.
It's like pixels
the
dominating
arcade
onto the
version
screen.
looks a lot better.
All right, well then I'm keen to know what's everyone else's favorite game of all time.
Dark Souls.
Oh, that's hard.
Dark Souls, the first one.
Like, as much as I appreciate Zelda, Dark Souls.
Does it count for like how many versions of the game I own? Because then it would be like a battle between like one of the Mass Effect games or like Final Fantasy X.
Which Mass Effect?
I think I own the most of the first one or the third one. It's one of those.
Do you own the most though because it is your favorite game, or do you just randomly have a shitload?
I don't know. You know, it's really hard for me to choose a favorite game because it changes a lot.
I don't know. For me, it's definitely Dark Souls.
I can say right now. I could say like Dynasty Warriors 3, maybe.
All right.
I'm surprised I didn't get it.
It's really got me thinking now. It's really got me thinking.
I was so sideswiped by that. I couldn't even kick you off the call. I was just, frozen. Like,
By what?
Dynasty Warriors 3?
Yeah.
Is that what your face was for? I wonder what that was.
It's a good game.
I thought I had a stroke.
That's
Jesus
a good game.
Christ.
It looked like you were having one, I'll be honest.
I'm sorry that I'm not into clicking David Beckham's name every 5 seconds. Now he needs to get some water. Go get some water. I'm your manager. Where are you walking?
I'm like really genuinely thinking.
Chris is going into the bathroom. Oh shit, he's pulling down his pants. Ugh. I don't need to see that.
That's not meant to look like that.
That's not how you sit on the toilet. He's taking the top off. He's shitting in the top of the toilet.
He went in feet first.
No, I was in the lounge. I was in the lounge taking the podcast, and then someone just like walks into the house. They're like, "Hello!" I was like, "I'm leaving the room." All right, you're gonna get a really nice low angle now.
Oh yeah, that's what I've always wanted.
So, what have I been playing, you say?
No,
yes, David.
We weren't worried about that.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when Project Cars originally came out, was it last year?
That sounds about right.
I can't remember. Was it last year or the year before now?
No, I think it was 2015.
Project Cars was last year. It was last year.
I mean, I was really excited, and I pre-ordered it, and I bought it.
I pre-ordered it too for PS4.
And I started the career mode, and I was in my little go-kart. Did the first track, came second, I think. And then
I got first in like those go-kart races. I thought it was challenging, but then eventually, for some reason, I learned how to control the go-kart, so it became easy.
We say on the second track, because I think you have. Is it like 5 rounds or something? I can't remember.
I think it might be like 10 laps. It's very long. It's like 10 laps or some shit like that.
But like on the second track, I I was first, and on one corner I get hit by someone else and spins me out.
Yep.
This
And
happened.
then it fucks up your race.
This happened 3 times in a row, and I have to restart the race.
That never happened to me.
And then I ejected the disc, put it in its wrapper, and I never touched that game again.
I think it was because of you. Because I never had that error.
That pissed me off so much. So yeah, Namco Bandai were kind enough to send me the Game of the Year edition. So I'm gonna play that. But I've now got it on the PS4 instead of the Xbox One, so...
Oh, maybe that's what the problem was. You had it on a shitty console. I have an Xbox One. I can say that it's shitty because my controller desyncs every time I want to turn the console on. So
I think, I agree with you. I think the Xbox One is not as good a console as PS4, but I think it's got, to be honest, it's got some great exclusives.
I have no problems with the Xbox One other than my controller desyncs like every fucking time.
I don't like the layout.
We've got Bloodborne though.
Because
I don't care about
I've
Bloodborne. I have.
not
It's alright. But
played much PS2, PS3, and I got PS4 now.
you made a mistake because there's a lot of good PS2
Oh no,
and PS3.
I've got them now.
PS2 and PS3
I've
is
got
good.
them now, but because that wasn't my primary console of choice.
Right.
The PS4 pad, although it's a lot better, it's still doesn't feel right for me.
Do you have
It
tiny
feels
hands?
The PS4,
the only problem
No,
I
the
have
pad's too small.
too small.
Yeah, it needs
No,
to be
I don't
want it
chunkier.
to be.
No,
At least
it's
you
Be
want it.
chunkier. That's why I like.
I've got big hands, man. I've never had that problem.
Love how everyone's suddenly justifying their own hand is like, damn.
Look at these.
Oh. But the thing is, so the only problem I have with the PS4 controller is the thumbsticks because they're not like
But
the
it's-
traditional like dome thumbsticks.
That's
They're weirdly
I
shaped.
honestly thought my problem was the fact that the 2 thumbsticks are down at the bottom,
No,
whereas
that's not the
everything
problem.
I've played that's had a 3D stick, Sega Saturn, the Sega Dreamcast, the Xbox 360, and the Xbox One, they've all had the 3D stick above the D-pad, so your hands more separate.
I agree. That's the one thing about the Xbox controller I prefer.
I don't prefer that.
I like it.
Once you get used
I
to
prefer the thumbsticks at the bottom. You put it, your hands are symmetrical then. It's easy.
I don't know. It feels more comfortable.
Yeah,
like I think the DualShock 4 is the best controller around, but I like having the thumbsticks higher. But I wish they did that like Xbox and Nintendo did.
Well, Nintendo does have the what do you call it? What the fuck is it called? It's not the gamepad. It's the Pro controller,
Yeah, the
whatever.
Pro
the fuck.
controller.
Yeah, the Pro
It has the
controller.
thumbsticks at the top,
Yeah.
and it has everything below. And I think that's really odd because I have to reach down for the face buttons and the D-pad.
You know why they did that though, don't you?
Because they wanted to rip off the other 2 controllers.
No, because the Wii U actual the actual horrible thing,
You say this as if I don't realize that because I have a Wii U.
the 2 thumbsticks are at the top of that, so they just matched it with
Which
the...
is also another weird feeling. I'm not saying that the width is kind of a weird feeling, but I'm not
It's
talking about
horrible.
that. I'm talking about how the thumbsticks are on top, and you have to move your thumb below that to use the face buttons. It's weird.
To be fair though, on most games where you need twin sticks, it's nearly always a shooting sort of game anyway.
Are you telling me that shooting games use 2 sticks?
You know, you use 2 sticks and you have your 2 triggers and 2 shoulder buttons.
Matt's so quiet with laughing.
On Call of Duty, how many times... What is the 4 face buttons for? There's probably...
I'm sorry, do you want to reformat that sentence so it's in English?
On Call of Duty, what do you
about
use the 4 face buttons?
Jump, crouch, lay down, action,
Isn't crouch
swap weapons.
clicking the stick?
No, crouch is B. His face.
No, I've not played Call of Duty
That was
since
so
Call of
sad.
Duty 2.
It's like a full on like trying to contemplate that.
No, I'm just,
What?
some of the first person shooters I've played, you sort of like click one stick into crouch
Your
and
stance
you click the other
button.
to
Your
run,
stance button is B.
and then you shoot, and switch weapons, and your grenade, the trigger.
I was going to say, that Southpaw setup, what kind of like... I
Yeah,
looked
that sounds about
left-handed.
right.
I do that on Reach because I'm left-handed. It's just kind of like I do that naturally. Rather
Oh,
than
really?
Like, "B."
But that's why these pro controllers
I
have
don't
got
like
the buttons at the
softball.
back, so you don't have to remove your thumb off the stick to press the face button.
I just do that anyway.
Well, I have to say, COD games are very unintuitive.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we
In the
going to
first
talk
place?
about the new trailer? Are we going to talk about the new trailer?
I don't know anything about that new trailer. Or is it showing off the Call of Duty Modern Warfare revitalized thing?
It's the same thing as Advanced Warfare, and then DICE released Battlefield 1 a week later, and their rating just went, fuck you.
Yeah, Battlefield 1 looks so much better.
I have an issue with it, though. I have an issue with Battlefield 1.
Of course you do.
No, it's a very legitimate reason.
Okay, I want to hear this.
Basically,
I'll
as
go
great
back
as
to
the
sleep.
Battlefield games are, right? As great as like Warfare games are and shooting games are, I don't want them to recreate World War One because World War One was fucking horrible.
Unlike every other war.
The song was horrible.
Yeah,
No. In comparison, this
World
was
War II is
comparatively-
horrible.
Well, no. The song was comparatively worse. Simply because, and I'm not generalizing. I mean, like that specific bit they've shown, like in the trailer, they've shown like trench warfare. Trench warfare was the most traumatizing, unpleasant thing since like medieval sieges, and that made people realize the nature of warfare has to change. I don't want to try and recreate trench warfare because I've got a sneaking suspicion that they'll do it wrong and make it seem okay. It wasn't okay.
But I mean, that's the problem with all video games. All video games kind of make violence okay. Like you
Yeah, but
do
that's-
like no one, you know, like I think though that's why it's taken so long for a World War One game to kind of come around because
That makes sense.
there is still so many people who kind of are affected or like have these strong opinions about it. So I mean, they really do have this pressure to kind of convey the message properly to make this a good game.
Really hope they don't fuck it up, basically. On a separate note, Call of Duty is screwed. Like, honest to God, right, their ratings on the actual trailer just kind of went...
Isn't Infinity Ward doing it, the next
Yeah,
one?
Infinity War.
Yep.
Yeah.
Infinity Ward is the shittier of the two.
used
Treyarch
to
actually
be-
tries to do stuff.
Infinity Ward
series.
used to be the best one when they made COD 4, but everyone left and
After
went
that-
to Respawn and they started Titanfall and
Yeah. After that, Infinity Ward just like
it's a completely different thing.
been making bad fucking CODs, and then you
Ghost
look at
was
Treyarch and they're actually trying stuff. They have ambition, and to believe it or not, I actually liked Black Ops 3. It was really interesting what they did.
I quite liked Advanced Warfare, and I was surprised.
I kind of like that too.
I didn't expect to like it because I'm not usually a big fan of COD. I usually prefer the
Yeah.
Battlefield series, but I got it with the PS4 and I was like, yeah, I might as well play it. I really, really enjoyed
The
playing
thing
it.
is, Ghosts wasn't that great.
Yeah, I know that.
Ghost was not good. Ghost was
Which
not good.
Yeah.
which is the team that's making the next Call of Duty game?
Infinity Ward.
Infinity Ward.
Yeah,
Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer.
It's Sledgehammer and
It's
Infinity
Sledgehammer.
Ward's making this one.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, you mean the one? Okay, the one after.
that's what I mean. The next one, the one that's not.
Yes, it'd be
Next year.
yeah.
I mean, when Call of Duty Advanced Warfare 3 was in development, basically about 75% of Infinity Ward left. And not a lot of people know Machine Games actually went in and finished that game.
I didn't know that.
I didn't
No.
know. I knew about the
And
legal.
so
disputes, but
under the circumstances, I think that turned out pretty well.
Mm.
And then 2 years later, when it was Infinity Ward proper that did Ghosts, I think you could tell that was a
Ghosts
new
was
team,
bad.
and they didn't know what they were doing.
Ghost.
Yeah, it felt like a completely different game.
And
from the
there was a
modern
lot of reused assets.
It was more the fact that Modern Warfare 2 was really, really damn good. Modern Warfare
I won't
2,
agree with that, but yeah,
it was really good.
I personally don't agree with that. But yes,
I
Well, it was
wasn't.
like-
I wasn't a big.
I personally
fan.
feel like Advanced Warfare was the kind of best one I played since COD 4. That
Yeah,
was,
I'd agree with that. Although
I'd
did-
really say that Black Ops 3 was better.
I quite like COD 5.
The problem with me, everyone was going on about Call of Duty, COD 4. They were all going on about it, and I was this weird kid that actually really liked.
You were this
The-
weird kid.
Was it Rainbow Six Vegas?
Dude, Rainbow Six Vegas is awesome.
I really got
That's a
into
good game.
that. But
I was
because
playing the second
no one
one.
else was playing that, everyone went over to like the COD games after that.
I played the second one like recently.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome shit.
I love that game so much, but unfortunately...
Yeah.
And like they did the modern military things. I think it actually launched before COD 4 as well. But all the people just
I
went
don't
on...
remember.
I think everyone just goes on about COD 4.
Yeah.
But... Yeah,
But that's what I like. I like those more tactical ones, although it's not super realistic
It was
in the way
really
it's tactical.
yeah,
it's
it was
much better
really
the way it
stripped
was
back.
done than COD. And there's this game that I go back to once in a while on PC called SWAT 4. And it's about, you
That's more
are of
like
a SWAT team in the
that's,
US.
That's more like the Rainbow Six games of old.
Yeah, but that's like super tactical in a way, and it's really fun to play. And playing in multiplayer, although GameSpy has shut down, I'm sure there's ways that you can play it online. But it's really good to play online because there's no like there's no commands you could do. There's no AI you play with. You have to play with other people, and you actually have to communicate. And there was a group of people playing that would like fucking role play into it, and they would be just going so deep into it. It was a really cool game. And then SWAT, there was no SWAT 5, and that was a shame because the series was really peaking up like with every game coming out.
So I mean, I'll just mention the last thing that I've been doing this week, and I managed to get hold of the Nvidia Shield TV, which
I have the Shield handheld.
yeah, it's basically that, but built more like a little console.
Yeah.
And the control pad, I mean, getting back to like when I was saying about the PlayStation pad, I'm not a big fan of the 2 sticks at the bottom.
Yeah, this is like an Xbox kind of controller.
This shape and feel is like an Xbox, but it's got the 2 sticks at the bottom. So I think it's the shape and the feel that I like of the Xbox. Because I can actually use this and play quite well, whereas with the PlayStation...
So, I don't know if you've ever felt a Shield handheld, but the way that they shape that console is really interesting because it feels really good in the hands. And I like things with weight. So
yeah, this
I
control
like heavy
pad's quite
mice.
heavy.
I like heavy mice. I like heavy controllers. I like heavy dicks in my hands. Because that was the joke Matt was gonna make. That was the joke Matt was gonna make about something about my penis being in my hands. But
pet shops are just picking up mice randomly, going, "Yes, Sammy, I'll take it."
I like how I didn't think about that. No, I usually pick up puppies. This one's about 20 pounds. This one's like 25. Anyway, I like the weight to it. I like the feel of it, which is really interesting because it's kind of like scooped out of the console, the controller. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's kind of scooped out in a way.
I don't know what the Shield handheld's like, but on this, it's shaped, so it basically looks like the Xbox 360 and Xbox One sort of pad shape.
Right.
But at the back, it's got like a little ridge. So not your forefinger, whatever, it's like, but it just sits nicely on the ridge. And it just feels so comfortable to hold.
That finger sits nicely on my ridge.
But yeah, I basically got that because I read that it did the Sega Saturn emulator quite well. Yeah.
Are you guys dead?
I don't know.
You're like staring into the screen like zombies, both of you.
I mean, I can
Really
understand.
interesting on the internet. I do apologise.
I can understand Matt because same as me, it's like nearly 1:30 in the morning. But Chris,
Me.
it's like coming up midday.
It actually
It's
is,
like
yeah.
8:23 p.m. right now for me.
Yeah, it's currently 1:30 in the morning.
I think I like zoned out. I was thinking, I was like real hungry. I was like thinking about a pie. I was just sat there.
What kind of pie?
Steak and cheese.
Oh,
Steak and-
okay.
Do you guys not have that?
No,
You guys,
It's like
you guys
a
don't have steak
shepherd's
and cheese?
pie or
We have-
whatever.
We have steak and ale.
steak and kidney.
You don't have steak and cheese?
No,
No, because
Oh,
steak doesn't need to be like cheese is brilliant, and so is steak. You don't need to put them together.
That's
Yes,
crazy,
you do.
man. That's
When they're in a
pinnacle of-
Stromboli, yes, you do.
No, steak and ale, however, is a thing of beauty.
George,
Steak and cheese work well.
what is a pecan pie?
Pecan.
What the hell is a pecan pie?
It's literally what it sounds like.
But
It's
I
a
don't
pie
know.
with
Sounds like
pecans
nothing.
in it.
I have
Sounds
no
like a
idea what
random
it is.
It's a pie with pecans in it.
What is that?
It's a nut.
No, pecan.
Nut pie.
Yes.
Yeah, it's in a pie.
You see, Chris has got the right reaction.
Like, how do you not know about this?
I've never seen one or heard of one in the UK.
A nut pie. A pie with nuts in it.
I mean, there's
I don't
apple walnut
know how
pie.
else to react other than to say the name again and again with a confused expression.
There's
keep
apple
repeating
walnut pie. It's not just nuts in there. There's like sugar and shit too.
Well,
I'm literally thinking of someone pouring a bag of sugar and some nuts, like a walnut, into
That's how we make things in America. We just pour sugar in it. Well, not sugar. We pour corn syrup in it.
corn syrup.
I don't know how to feel, man.
You
On the
take your
bright side,
I
hand.
can't. It's weird that you guys think steak and cheese, like pinnacle of New Zealand life, is a steak and cheese pie and a sausage roll.
I think steak and cheese pie is weird, but steak and cheese together, yes.
You don't put good.
Like
you don't
in a
put
Stromboli,
steak
it works
together.
great.
Unless it's a-
Another thing, Chris and George, if I was to say to you, do you like brown sauce? Would you know what that means?
Like gravy.
I'd have no idea. Some kind of disgusting innuendo.
No,
that's
it's not. It's actually a thing. No, it's actually
is it
food.
gravy? Is that what?
No.
we know as gravy over here?
It's a sauce that isn't barbecue, but tastes distinctly bitter as if it were barbecue.
And it goes perfect on bacon. So if you have a bacon sandwich or a bacon butty, whatever you want to call it, put brown sauce on it, goes so well.
I never
No,
heard of it.
David. If you're going to have a bacon butter, you put Jack Daniels barbecue sauce in it, because Jack Daniels and barbecue sauce, you put the two things together, it's just perfect.
I never thought of that.
That
sounds good. That sounds American.
Yes. Some of your
Then you
food,
have ale and pie.
the Americans have nailed sauces. I will give you that. You have nailed sauces.
Yeah.
Like, condiments are your thing.
Also,
what you are known
condoms
for.
are a thing.
Are they?
I don't know. We're not China, so.
Does anyone have any news while we're still remembering we've been recorded?
Yeah, no. Yeah. Video game podcast. What
Wait, we're
nationality
being
has the weirdest
recorded?
food?
We're being recorded?
Yeah,
Yes.
Holy shit.
We've been recording for 1 hour 7 minutes, and this call has been going for
Over
2
2
hours.
hours.
Yeah, so we've been recording. We were on for an hour before we started recording.
Brilliant.
See, this is usually how it goes for, like, my podcast. It's just, like, we bullshit. And then even in the podcast, we just bullshit.
All right, news.
And now, it's this week's news with One Up Gaming.
I'm trying to fork them out.
I read a story this week that apparently Star Wars Battlefront had a campaign, and then at the last minute they stripped it out because they wanted to put it out at the same time as Force Awakens.
Yes. Ugh. Disgusting.
I don't blame them.
I want a campaign in that game.
I don't want to think about EA before I go to sleep.
I want... Oh, come on. They're not that bad. But...
The EA's they've had a good Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Unravel.
They have.
But that's because they bought up BioWare.
I've just got to say, you cannot say EA's had a good year and leave Unravel within that sentence.
I never played
I
it.
liked Unravel.
Oh, that was a bad game.
Oh,
like
I'm
it.
sorry. I forgot I'm talking to David.
We had an interview opportunity with the guy, and I refused it.
Wow.
Because
Really?
I heard the guy speaking, and he was so passionate about the game, and I couldn't fake it.
He couldn't
Oh, damn.
fake it. Alright. Whatever, man.
Any more news?
News.
What else? We're chucking in the news show this week. Apparently Rockstar is going to announce something soon. The next couple of weeks they're looking to announce something, but they are not going to be releasing anything until April next year at the latest, at the
April
earliest.
1st. They're going to
April
release
1st.
it April 1st.
GTA 6.
No, it's actually GTA 5 2.
No, I think it'll be. I think the favourite's either Bully 2 or
Red Dead.
It
Red
better
Dead.
be Bully 2. It's got to be
It
Bully
did.
2.
Red Dead.
Red Dead,
It's
man.
gotta
Red
be
Dead
Bully 2.
is still my favorite game.
Bully
of
needs
all.
a comeback.
But
Bully
there was
needs a
a lot of
comeback.
leaked things about Red Dead, wasn't there?
I don't
Yeah,
give
the
a
map
shit.
leak.
Bully
Map
needs to
leak.
come back.
I tell you what, is it just me that thinks
Yes.
No, he's the one who doesn't think.
Oh, right, yeah.
that the team working on Red Dead, they've been wasted? They should really get back to what they were good at, and that was
Don't
Midnight
say
Club.
Midnight Club. Don't. Oh my god.
Midnight Club.
Bloody got
Midnight Club
blacklisted
4
against
Dub
Rockstar
Edition
as
Remix.
well.
Red Dead is so much better than
Production.
Midnight Club. Oh my god.
What?
I agree. No, I agree with Chris.
What?
I agree with Chris.
What? I will give you that Red Dead Redemption is a good game, but
It's not
what?
better. It's not better than Midnight Club.
Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix, bitch. Play it.
I honestly didn't think anyone would react like George did. I thought you'd all just sort of shout at me.
No, Midnight Club is... Fucking Midnight Club 3 is awesome.
Midnight Club 3 is not a bad game. I think it's a really good game.
Right, it's
tell
not a
you,
bad
Red
game.
Dead's
it's-
better. Red
It
Dead
was
is
actually
better.
a really
No,
good
it's
PSP
not.
game as well.
Alright, I'll ask you this question. Can you street race in a car?
Yes,
In Red
there are
Dead
cars.
Redemption.
There are
I
cars
can
in Red
Red-
Dead.
I can street race in a
Red
cart.
Dead.
T add a T.
You can
No,
street
that's
race
not-
in Red Dead. It's just with
Okay.
horses and carts.
In Midnight Club, can you tie up someone with rope and drag them to death?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you go to a store in Red Dead Redemption and upgrade your horse to run faster? Can you buy a new engine for your horse?
Yes.
Can
get a
you
better
buy
horse.
can you buy vinyls for your horse?
No, but we can buy armor for it.
Wait, is this Oblivion?
We don't talk about that
Exclusive
DLC.
DLC.
We don't talk about that DLC.
Force
Wasn't that like £7 or something? Was
Yes.
it more
It
than
was,
that?
it was,
I can't
it was,
remember.
cheap, it was
Yeah.
cheap, but it was dumb. I
was
think they
very-
did it as a test. I think it was they did it as a test for the DLC.
And they failed.
Which is rare for Bethesda.
Yeah, might as well see what they can get.
Fallout
Bethesda
4.
Bethesda doesn't.
Fallout 4 was mediocre.
Fallout
It
4 is
wasn't
not a
failed.
Yeah.
Fallout 4 is
Yeah,
not a
no,
failure.
yeah.
It's
No,
just,
not failure,
Just-
but
it was
it
just
was
I
mediocre.
gave up on the game after I beat it, and I bought the season pass.
I didn't even bother beating it. I was just walking around the wasteland going, "Oh, I've got a laser rifle," because laser rifles are overpowered when you've got.
I was playing Fallout 4, wishing I was playing Fallout 1 or 2.
I wish I was playing Fallout 3.
It's an alright game.
Like the thing is, like
I
I,
think Skyrim's
I started off with Fallout 3, so when I went back to 1 and 2, I still appreciated 3 more because
See, I started with the first. I did not
It
finish
tends
yet,
to be
but
the one. It tends to be the one that you're introduced to, that you're most attached to, which is why I like Skyrim more than I like Morrowind or Oblivion. But I still really like those two.
Morrowind.
I played-
Alright, so
I
here's the
played
thing.
Fallout 4 first.
I first played Oblivion. I like Morrowind better than Oblivion, but that
Like-
might be because I like traditional RPG things like
I played
rolling dice
Morrowind
and shit.
first.
Did you like
David,
it?
David doesn't like.
I loved Morrowind.
oh
oh,
shit!
okay.
And I hated
Awesome.
Oblivion and onwards.
Oh, fuck you.
All the others were bad.
I can see why you say it for Skyrim, but Oblivion's a good game.
Yo, back up.
Oh yeah, no, Skyrim was amazing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It is.
I'm sorry. What do you see when you walk outside of a town? Snow, mountains.
No.
Snow.
There's plenty of
Mountains.
different. There's plenty of different
No.
landscapes.
So much variation.
Oh, I'm sorry. This snow's higher than this snow here.
No,
This is a weird argument.
it is because
the level
like,
of snowdrop is how you judge a game's quality.
like the
Yes,
entire-
exactly.
The entire like north half of the map. Yes, it's in snow because it's next to the fucking ice sea, and the south, funnily enough, is warmer. And therefore, is not covered in snow.
Here's something. Where's your strength stat? Oh, wait. It's not a thing in that game.
It doesn't need to be a thing.
Yes, it does for an Elder Scrolls game. Yes.
No,
Basic stats. Yes.
I like the fact that you have to dick around with it all. That was nice.
I don't like the fact that the guy who can be a tank can also be a fucking mage.
Why not?
Not only a mage, but a really fucking good. Because that's not how RPGs work, especially
Because he's
Elder Scrolls
Dragonborn.
games.
He's Dragonborn. He can do it.
Yeah, it
all.
was more.
See, that's another thing. It's like this game's like, oh, you're the chosen one. Ooh, you're all powerful, and you have this dragon dildo shout. And then it's like, you go to
Are you
Morrowind.
agreeing
and
or
everyone
like rocking
hates
out,
you.
David?
No, he's rocking out.
The thing is, like, in Morrowind, everyone hates you, and you have to prove yourself. And these new games, it's just like, oh, you're the chosen one, I don't know, you're all powerful, blah, blah,
George,
blah.
in this one, everyone's just racist. You have to prove them wrong.
Let's not have a racist discussion.
No, I was going to say, like in Skyrim, as soon as you start analysing like how people speak, you go, yeah, all Nords are actually surprisingly racist. Why are you showing us the phone, David?
It's not a phone.
What is that?
It's a recorder.
Is that what? Okay, cool. Why are you showing?
Stereo dictaphone. I just wanted you to shut up.
Why would I want
Anyway,
And as soon as I hold something to the camera, you all just sort of like stop and go, ooh.
Yeah, we didn't know what it was.
David really knows how to do a podcast, an audio podcast with video.
Here, distract them.
Yeah, distract you a
Hey,
lot.
listeners,
Sounds
look
better.
at what I'm holding.
David, no, you can't put that on camera.
But seriously, Skyrim should not have been an Elder Scrolls game.
I disagree with that, but we'll have a discussion.
No, see, I mean, if you want to say it should be an Elder Scrolls game, I mean, maybe that's up for debate. You can't say Skyrim's a bad game, though. It's a great game.
I have not had as much fun as I did in Morrowind or Oblivion with that game.
I solidly played it for 14 hours on the first day it came out, and I didn't regret a single moment of it. I
I'd
fucking love that
rather
game.
play Morrowind.
Fair enough.
It's less of an RPG. It's more of like an action game.
But you can go to Morrowind in Skyrim.
Yeah, so
Therefore, it's better.
not really because it doesn't have the mechanics of
The
Morrowind.
argument's there somewhere.
Doesn't have the mechanics of Morrowind in it.
That's fair enough.
Do you know what I
You
think
could- you-
the best
you-
role-playing game?
You can say that it's a good game. Sure, I will not deny you that.
Sonic Chronicles.
I personally do not think it's that great.
I'm sorry, David.
Sonic,
Did you
go
just
fuck
swear at
yourself.
them? Did you just say something blasphemous?
Hey, it's the best game that studio's ever made.
I never played it. Also, go fuck yourself. The best game studios made. What the fuck? Who the fuck are you?
Well, I'm just saying it's the best game that they've made.
I think that's the only game you've played from them. That's why you think that.
No, I've played all their games.
Well, that's a
Oh yeah,
mistake.
what were their games? What games did they make?
It's BioWare, isn't it? They've done all the Mass Effects and that.
All the Mass Effects in that. Oh yeah, that lists out all the games they developed.
Yeah,
I mean, I
don't
will
mind-
say,
don't mind
Dragon
KOTOR
Age
and
Origins, that was good. I liked that.
Don't mind
so
KOTOR. and Dragon
so
Age.
you're saying that Sonic Chronicles is better than Baldur's Gate? You're saying it's better than Knights
Yes.
of the Old Republic?
Yes.
You're saying it's
No,
better
Knights
than
of the Old
that's fair.
Republic is the most
saying you're better
overrated
than
crap
Dragon
I've
Age
ever
Origins.
played.
Shut the fuck up and die in a hole.
Exactly.
The amount of wrong opinions on this podcast.
The only wrong opinions are David's, for the most part.
The problem is,
No, KOTOR is brilliant.
they have...
Yes, it's really good.
You get a shit
Yeah.
game, like the PS2 Battlefield games, they shove Star Wars on it, and all of a sudden it's the best game ever made.
Matt can't even.
I need a minute.
I know. I need a minute too. I can't believe he just fucking said that.
What?
Yeah.
But it's
I
the,
can't believe
it's
he
the
just said that.
same.
Like, no, Battlefield 2.
On the
is
Nintendo
possibly
64,
the best it's made.
The launch games.
The replay value and the fun.
We're not talking about the N64.
No,
We're
I'm
talking
saying
about the Battlefront
Nintendo
games.
64, the launch games, there was Mario 64,
Okay.
and what was the Star Wars... I don't even know what the hell it was called.
That's not a comparable game
No,
to
no,
what
no,
we're
no.
talking about right now.
No,
Yeah, what are we talking about right now?
We're talking about Star Wars Battlefront. The
no,
first
what
thought
was,
we were talking
what
about
was the
Star
Star
Wars
Wars game
Battlefront.
for the Nintendo 64?
Why does it matter?
Because there's a quote that someone said. Was it Shadows of the Empire?
I think wasn't that the PS2 or not PS2? That wasn't that the PS1 game,
I know which one he's on about.
or was that on N64 as well?
Shadows of the Empire or something.
Shadows of the Empire, yeah.
It's bad.
I read something when the 64 first came out, saying Mario 64 is a good game, but if you're gonna get a Nintendo 64, you need to get the Star Wars game. That shows what the console can do.
How does this compare to talking about Star
Because
Wars
I'm
Battlefront?
just saying, you have a a game that's good, mediocre, crap, shove a Star Wars name on it, and all of a sudden the hype builds and people just say, wow, it's amazing.
Okay,
KOTOR was, though.
Yeah, KOTOR was really
KOTOR
good.
was.
Also, the Star Wars Battlefront games were really good as well.
Yeah, they were.
I hated them.
Shadows of the Empire was really bad.
Yeah.
I never played that.
But no, like, I think the problem with like KOTOR is more the fact it was aimed at kind of like the people who actually understood the universe, so I can completely understand why you don't like it.
But it's also those people who are into those heavy BioWare RPGs.
Yeah, Dragon Age.
I'm not super knowledgeable about Star Wars. I know some stuff, but I play KOTOR for the BioWare game. And it's so fun. I have it on PC and I have it on Xbox.
David, what is your opinion of Star Wars as a franchise?
Oh God, is she?
The new one was quite good.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I didn't see the new one yet.
I actually thought that the prequels were CGI heavy, but I thought they weren't too bad.
I thought they were all right as well.
And I honestly think the original ones have aged badly, and they're really long and boring now.
I still like the old ones.
But I've not seen them since I was about 6 or 7.
Oh.
So it's probably...
I like how his opinion about this is about, like...
This is a 6-year-old. 6-year-old David was not impressed.
A fair amount of points there. That's a fair point. On a separate note, if you haven't seen episode 7, it's worth going and seeing. It's brilliant.
I wanna see it.
I mean, I thought it was a good movie, but I wouldn't say it was...
But it's not a good Star Wars movie.
No, it's coming from a bit of a fan. It's definitely what they needed to jumpstart number 7 after the atrocities that happened in number 1, 2, and 3.
See, I don't see them as atrocities. I can see why people don't like them.
From a lore standpoint, they're atrocities. As films, they're kind of like they're okay.
They're all right.
They're all right. But from a lore standpoint, they are a goddamn abominations.
All right.
Simply because they mention midichlorians, and it's just like, no, they're not a thing.
And it's so funny how they don't mention when there were. Do you know is it Rogue One?
Yeah.
All the hype saying it's the first ever offshoot of a Star Wars movie. Like, what about the Ewoks Christmas movie?
We don't talk about the Christmas special.
I know they don't, but I'm just saying.
David, you do not talk about the Christmas special. You
With
know
the
exactly
grandpa that watches porn and masturbates? Ugh. And that wasn't Ewoks, that was Wookiees.
We don't talk about the Christmas special. It was bad.
It's my first podcast. This has gone in completely different directions than I thought it would.
This happens. This happens.
I don't know, the One Up Gaming podcast. I was like, we'll probably talk about games. We talk about Ewok Christmas
Where did you
specials.
go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
I need sleep.
I wouldn't be surprised if I woke up and this was just a fever dream.
No, you're going to go to sleep and you're going to wake up sweating remembering about this podcast episode.
Yeah, but the thing is, we've been recording for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And when this goes up on Sunday, it'll be like a 20-minute podcast because I've cut loads of shit out.
See, you don't do that. That's how you ruin a podcast. Because like, oh, what'd you play? What'd you play? What'd you play? Okay, we're done. Like, come on. That's a boring podcast. We need to have this Star Wars bullshit talk.
On a separate podcast on a separate day. So.
Okay, news.
I think we're done with news.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done with news.
News, sir.
So please go to our website. It's oneupgaming.co.uk. We have a Patreon, which is patreon.com/OUG. We have official merchandise at bluecyborg.com. Just search for One Up Gaming. Hopefully, 2 people that are on this podcast should get t-shirts soon.
I hope so.
We have a deal with Custom Controllers UK, where you can get 10% off, so just go to them. And as you're checking out, use the discount code OneUpGaming. We have Amazon links on the site, so click on that if you're ordering from Amazon. We get a small percentage.
That doesn't charge you any extra. We should point that out.
Yeah, it doesn't charge you anything, but because we're advertising Amazon,
that kicks back some money back to us.
They give us a small So if you buy, I think my mum bought a DVD box set for £80. I got £2.
Thanks, Mom.
You know, so. And we're on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch.
And all the sites.
Yeah. If you
All
go,
the things!
if you go on our website, we've got like on the top bar, we just click on it, go straight to our search One Up Gaming. The Twitch is OUG Official. We have Twitter, and if you want to contact us, it's OUG Official. You can email me at contact@oneupgaming.co.uk.
I sure do.
And I don't think you do. I think you email my personal one.
Do I?
I think so. I don't know. Yeah,
It might kick it back to yours.
No. Because I've got the website's email set up on my phone, but I don't have it set up on my PC.
Okay. Then
So-
I guess I don't then.
Yeah, because I can read it now. So, but yeah, the podcast is on iTunes. Please subscribe to it. Give 5 stars, positive feedback, all that crap. We will be doing a competition, so you can win a Toshiba Encore 8-inch, and no, it's not an Android. It's a Windows 10 tablet.
I can?
No, you work for the site.
Oh, fuck.
And I think we're going to do something very simple where all you need to do is just leave feedback and rate us on iTunes and just leave your Twitter handle. And then once we get about 10 or 20, I'll
What if
just
they don't have a Twitter handle?
then set one up. It's free.
What about their emails?
No, because you don't want to put their email address on a public display.
I guess
Yeah,
that makes
please
sense.
don't.
I didn't think about it being public.
Please don't.
You know?
Well done, George.
That's why I didn't properly think.
I like my privacy as it is, you know.
Well, you don't have any privacy when it comes to me.
No, he watches you at night.
No, that's not
Okay.
the only thing I do. That's not the only thing I do.
I believe we were ending.
Yeah, I think that's where we were going.
News!
Hey guys, Justin here. I just wanted to say that I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you a lot. Yes, you in particular. In that way. And I wanted to say, I think you're great. I've always said that about you. And I was wondering, if you think we're great, if you could give us a quick rating on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it. It would really, really help us out in that, podcasty sort of way. And if you're feeling particularly festive, perhaps even a little saucy, maybe stop by our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/OUG and see if you can't slip a few bucks our way. After all, every little penny or whatever space money they use in Europe helps out the show. Thanks for listening. OUG Gaming will always be free, but with your support, we can always move forward and always be better.